Hello friends on YouTube, welcome to another video. A few days ago I received the Nidec fan for the PS5 Slim, and this is the last fan that we are missing. And in this video I want to check finally the RPMs of the NMB, of the Delta, of the Foxconn that is inside, and of the Nidec fan for the PS5 Slim. So this thing works again. And we can also check again the airflow, and later I want to try out something else in a video. I want to try to overheat the PlayStation 5 Slim by covering it, or I don't know, maybe by rotating it on the head, so Olaf mode, or we will find out in the next video. And I want to see how high the PS5 will get, or how long it takes it for different fans to actually get it to overheat. And then I want to see the duty cycle of the fan, so the PS5 duty cycle. So, and for this we can use this mini pocket handheld oscilloscope that I'm currently testing. I will show you later. And this oscilloscope, you can purchase it on AliExpress. I have links in the description. I already unpacked it, and I ordered it with an additional probe for higher voltages, so we can switch here from times 10 to use it on higher voltages, and times 1 for lower voltages. Yeah, you can check everything out in the link in the description. And if you want to support me, you can get it because it's cool. I like it. It has a battery, and as you can see, it has a stand, and it's running without anything. And later we can use it to check the PVM, so the duty cycles. You can see here it's now 50% because we're on AC, and you can press here on auto. And currently I'm measuring the output of this filter that should reduce the noise on the voltages that we are getting from the socket. And I think, but this is a project that I will make another video of, but this is not like just a quick test, and I wouldn't recommend you to do this at home because it's dangerous here. Higher voltages, 320 volt peak currently, and from one side to the other, as you can see, 640 volts. So peak to peak, and 320 volts. Yeah, we're in Europe, and this shows it perfectly. Cycle of 20 milliseconds, that's also correct because we have 50 hertz. Now it shows 50 hertz or 0.05 kilohertz. Yeah, nice, this works perfectly. I can recommend it. So we can with this thing measure also the PVM of the PlayStation 5, and I will now in a few minutes unbox it, and we can then do the measurement of the fans. But now I know that this thing works also with 230 volts. And yeah, let's get this out of the way. And yeah, something else, if you want me to disassemble this prototype Xbox One, write me in the comments. I think they're really seldom. Okay, I will quickly get rid of some of this stuff and focus now on the new fan, because a lot of you guys, I know, are already waiting. Okay, now we're in menu, and I connected the other probe. So here we have the PWM signal, and the other one is the ground. I used like an extension cable, and now we can see it's around 10% PWM and 3.8 volt or 3.7 here. And when we start the game, it should increase the duty cycle from around 10 to 18. So before we start, I will quickly check again. This is the Foxconn fan. Quickly check the airflow from this side, and later from the other side I have to measure the RPM. I already put, as you can see, the stickers on the fans. Here is now the Nidec, and let's check the duty cycle. I have to watch out to not short out anything here. Can I put this on? 0.4, 0.5. Yeah, we have, I think, 24 degrees now. This is not correct. Yeah, now this is the Foxconn. In menu, really silent. And now we'll start Astro's Playroom. Let's see how it jumps. Okay. It's a 23 according to this thing. So maybe the Slim has other duty cycles. Have to test it also on a fat model to confirm this. You can see it now, it's 24 kilohertz. Yeah, it should be the frequency, but the duty cycle here is, it measures 23. Let me just quickly. Okay, it doesn't change. Yeah, nice to know. So now let's quickly measure it. And I know I measured it on the fat models and it was 18%. Yeah, it's a different model. So let's put this back on without shorting out anything to make sure it's underneath here. Now it's underneath. .4. Okay. So I will go in menu and just hot swap the different fans and measure the airflow first and then for the other side. So the next fan is going to be the Nidec. So this is the one we didn't test so far. And from all these fans, currently the Foxconn is, yeah, it's the most silent one. Then Delta and then the NMB. And with the Deltas I had one with my first Slim. The Delta was spinning at 1200 RPM and it was really loud. And I returned the Slim. And this one is not spinning so fast because it's, yeah, not that loud, but we will measure how fast it spins. And still 23% duty cycle. Okay, let's go back to menu. Home. And I will pause the video and hot swap this with the Nidec. Okay, now the Nidec fan is inside. And I covered this a bit with a coating because I don't want to short out anything when I'm unplugging it, because I have to pull hard to unplug it. Okay, let me quickly now see the duty cycle. Yeah, it's in menu. I close the game. Looks normal. Okay, let's check the airflow. Yeah, that's what's interesting now, how high the airflow will be. Or the speed or whatever. Let me hold this quickly. And as you can see, this one is higher. So assuming that this one will cool a bit better, at least in menu. And so far it's not loud. So now I can hear the Nidec. 1.6. Yep. Okay. It has a bit of a noise, but this is actually okay for me at least. And we're still at 23. So let's continue with the delta. Delta is inside. Okay, let's check the airflow. In menu, game is closed. So we saw the duty cycle around 10%. Let's cover everything nicely here. And this one is like the Foxconn. I think I covered everything. Okay, press. Yeah, around 04, 05. We will see the RPMs. Let's start the game. This one 1.7, 1.8, and now it's at 1.7. Looks good. In game, it's, I think, not a bad idea to have a higher airflow when you're gaming. Same duty cycle. Okay, NMB is inside. Nothing changed here. Let's see again. And so far I noticed on the Foxconn and on the Nidec, but we can check it later one more time, when closing the game, you know, and when it jumps from 18% to 10%, or from 23% duty cycle to 10%, then some fans make noises, you know, and some guys do not like it. I also do not like it. It's a weird noise because of the quick reduction of the duty cycle. Yeah, 0.4. Let's quickly jump into the game. We have here 1.6, 1.5, and yeah, I can hear it. Let's close out of the game and listen to it. Maybe you can hear it, probably not. Let's go quickly to menu. And when we're in menu and the game is in the background, it still runs at 23%. So, but now it uses only 100 watts. So if you want to cool it quickly, you can just go into the menu and let the fan spin higher. And now when we close the game, it will jump to 10 and listen to the fan. It's like a ooh. Okay, let's measure the RPMs. So I have to screw this in with 2 screws at least and rotate it, and then we can measure it. Okay, we have now the NMB in menu and no plates are on. So we can still, or we can quickly measure also the airflow from this side in menu. Okay, check the RPM. $400. Yeah, looks like 416, 15. Okay. Let's start the game again. $950 and 23% again. Okay. Okay, let's close the game. And listen to the fan. Yeah. Next fan. Let's take the Nidec. I think that it is a good idea to help with initial startup. So 0.5. Let's see the airflow. If we can measure it, yeah, we can measure it. 482. Okay, start game. .6. Okay, yeah, I have not the plates now on from the other side, also not, and of course with the plates maybe there is a bit of a different airflow and a bit of a different RPM. Yeah, normally if they can push less air, like when there is a under pressure, maybe they will rotate a bit faster. But yeah, I cannot measure it with the plates on, so we're measuring all it with the same conditions, let's say. This one has almost 1000 RPM, and yeah, a bit higher than the CFI 10 and CFI 11 and CFI 12, but not that much. But still, yeah, I think that they've been a bit faster in general, like I said in a previous video. Okay, let's get out of the game and see how it sounds. Okay, yeah, sounds okay when closing. Now let's take the Foxconn. I cannot now plug it in and at the same time measure, but it doesn't matter. We know now the airflow from this side. In menu, let's measure the RPM. 429, 430. Yeah, this is really very silent in menu. Let's start the game. 23. Let's first check the RPM. Okay. Now it stays at 930. Duty cycle is still 23. So it is at around 923 all the time. 930. It took us quite some time to get to this RPM. But let's check quickly the airflow. And of course there is a variation. There are maybe, if you take 10 Foxconn fans, they will all differ a bit in airflow and in RPM, and over time maybe they can get better once the bearing, I don't think they have ball bearings, there's some other kind of bearings, but maybe they need some time to wear out a bit and to, I don't know, the lubrication to spread evenly everywhere. Of course, it can get worse or better over time, and maybe it's sometimes a bit better and sometimes a bit worse, but I cannot make now, I don't know, a 100-hour video or a test where I let it run for 100 hours and then find out if something changed. Okay, so now let's go out of the game, close it directly and find out the noise. And now I can hear this one. Close game. Okay, had no rattling sound when closing, but it has a bit of a rattling sound when it's working. At least I think it was the fan. Let's find out one more time. Let's open the game. Maybe they are the coils or something. So I will go in menu now. Now we have still 23%. Yeah, it's actually the coils. The VRM coils or maybe the power supply. And not the fan, because the fan is now more silent. So you can, sometimes you will maybe think that it is the fan that is rattling or so, maybe they're the coils. So you can actually go out of the game, stay in menu with the game open in background, so like right now, and maybe you will hear then a difference. If you go into the game, yeah, I can hear it a bit. Okay, so we measured everything, so now let's go check the delta. Okay, delta fan is inside. In menu, let's check the airflow. Okay, and what I also want to tell, sometimes maybe the screws from the other side are not screwed in completely, and maybe this is also increasing the noise, you know, the rattling sound. Yeah, the delta is really low for 17. Okay, in menu, yeah, maybe I don't know which one I will take for this one. Let's see with game opened. Okay, yeah, this one is audible. And I wouldn't be surprised if now we have, I don't know, 1000 RPM or so. 1.7. Nice. Yeah, the first one I had that I returned, it was louder than this one. And it had 1100, 1200 RPM. Yeah. This delta has 1029. And this was the same on the CFI 12, for example. There were also some Delta V3, and they were really the fans with the highest variation in RPM. Some had, I don't know, 100 RPM higher values than others, and it's really hard. Maybe I will have one that is at 950 or 1000 RPM, and I can say, yeah, it's not that loud, and you will get one that is at 1200 RPM, and then it is loud. And then we can discuss and say, yeah, but delta is not that silent, and I will say, yeah, it is. So it's always with all of the fans, and you will need, I don't know, maybe to test 100 samples of each one to say definitely, yeah, most of the time this one is the most silent and this one is the best for cool. So it's, yeah, you have to take this information with a grain of salt, of course. Let's close. Let's go into the menu. Or no, directly close the game. Okay. Yeah, it also always depends on the background noise, because when the refrigerator now is working in the background and then I hear a fan, of course the fan will not sound that loud, but when everything is silent and then you have it turned on, it's also a bit louder. And I recognize with my PS5 Meta CFI 12, I had it on top of the shelf or the TV, underneath the TV, but on top of the, yeah, it says shelf, and it was not that loud. And when you put it inside, like I have behind, there's enough airflow because there's a gap and it can push the air out. But when it's inside of something, you know, it's like closed, then yeah, I think more noise is coming through, like through a tunnel directing to you. And then I recognized that it was a bit louder when it's inside somewhere, and it's more silent when it's sitting on top, because of course the noise can go in every direction and not like get pointed to you, if that makes sense. Yeah, stay tuned for another video. I have something that is, yeah, I do not want to tell you now, I don't want to spoil it, but it is something that I think will help a lot of you guys, and I will probably give away one or two of them to subscribers that are commenting under the videos, and you will see. This is something that will help you, I think, to reduce the noise and to improve cooling, of course. Yeah, you will see. It's some special thing, but it is now currently not finished. It's the person is working on it. I'm in contact with him via email, and yeah, this thing is great. Also, it's also cool. I can now plug it in with the USB-C that comes with it, and it can get charged by the PlayStation 5, so I can let it run all the time. And also the Tazi that I use for the temperatures, where I have 4 probes, I can also plug it in actually in the PlayStation to log the thermals. That's cool. So in the next video I will use this thing again, and I will try out, I'm not sure, maybe with all fans again, different positions, or maybe just put it on the head, Olaf mode, and see if it will increase the duty cycle. And I will try to maybe block a fan for a few seconds and find out how long it will take, or if it will increase the duty cycle. And if it increases, which one takes the most amount of time to increase it, and which one, with which fan it increased it the fastest. Yeah, if you have any questions, recommendations, if you want me to disassemble this prototype Xbox One X, and if you have any recommendations for videos, yeah, you can write them in the comments. Thank you for watching. Also thank you to all the new subscribers. Awesome guys. Yeah, I ordered the PlayStation 5 Pro. I was really thinking a long time if I should order it or not, because it is really expensive. And yeah, I ordered it and want to find out also what's inside and what the fan stuff, as you already know. And that's it. I will upload a video in a few weeks, I hope, maybe earlier. Yeah, have a nice day guys. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.